Today I've got something real special for you. A fin that goes on the bottom of surfboards or paddleboards that basically turns them into the water equivalent of an electric scooter, which you control from your wrists, as if you were Iron Man. And although that might sound like a niche product, I reckon by the end of this episode you'll probably want one, even if you've never been surfing or paddleboarding before. Now, ultimately this is designed with a few things in mind, but one of the biggest aims of this product is to give you more time out on the waves. Once you've caught a wave in, you can tap a button on your wrist and it quickly gives you a boost to help you get back out from the shore again, using less of your energy fighting against the waves, and essentially letting you stay out for longer. This is such a fantastic idea, and if you're a surfer, this is a gadget that will prove invaluable. The only problem for me is that I can't surf. But when Boost Surfing got in touch about this device, which gives you an electric scooter for the water, and given that I've reviewed many electric scooters in the past, it sounded so fun I could hardly say no, which is when I found out that the fins are also capable of attaching to paddleboards, which I also can't do. But that didn't stop me from wanting to try, so perhaps stupidly I told Boost Surfing that I'd do just that. Attach it to the bottom of a paddleboard and take it on a journey down the River Wye, starting in Hay, the town of Bucks, winding 5 miles down the river to the Boat Inn, a conveniently positioned pub to disembark and have a cheeky pint, all whilst sharing my experience with you guys and my thoughts on this rather niche but very interesting piece of tech. First thing we had to do was set the fin up, which fits onto the bottom of your paddleboard or surfboard with the standard fitting, although I'll come back to that in a little bit. Turning it on is interesting because you use the back of the tool which you use for the adapter screws, and this activates the boost fin by tapping it on the Wi-Fi logo. The controller then automatically pairs and goes on your wrists, and with that, you're pretty much ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, get your paddle.
I might be cheating.
Have you got it on already? You absolute wanker.
Okay.
You
Hey, this is
okay?
great. Oh shit, my balance is so bad. Hey, this is not that bad.
Do the same as kayaking and just try and keep out of the way of those hanging trees.
I'm just giving myself a boost away from them. I'm like actually on a boat here.
You know we'll get a turn of that later, right?
This is... Oh, Jesus. That's so fun. Did you see that?
Just when I started to get comfortable sitting on the board, Taya, my esteemed paddleboard guide, was getting rather tired of me not paddling already.
You need to watch, you'll drift really quickly. I hate you.
Not drifting now, am I?
Not drifting now, am I?
Hey. You could just lean as well, just to turn us.
Yeah, you're a boat.
I am a boat. I am a boat, basically.
Do you want to try standing at any point?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Right, no, you need to sit. That's it. Look up, look at where you're going.
Fuck me. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is amazing. Look at this. So with the brothers. Shit.
Having had enough of standing after about 30 seconds, I hadn't really thought about how I was going to get back down.
That is...
Right, slowly get yourself back down.
How'd you get back down?
So, pretty much as you came, just...
No, don't be like that.
Hang on. Right, I'm trying to show you. Look at me.
Yes, I'm looking.
I don't know why I agreed to do this. Get down, just drop to your knees. That's it. And down.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'll just...
Yeah, but I'm 6'8".
Oh, God.
Now that nobody could say that I hadn't stood up for a little bit, I thought I'd sit back down for much of the rest of the journey and just enjoy being able to paddleboard without actually paddling.
Right, let's get back there. Quick boost. Tell you what, even just for this feature where it gives me a very quick boost of speed, or allows me to trawl to catch up to people who are obviously far better than I am. Coming!
What's nice about it is it's so silent. Like, you're not ruining the nature. Almost like the peaceful aspect of it.
This is fun. Coolest thing I've reviewed for a while, this is. See you later. Genuinely. So that's on like the, whatever that is, the speedy bit. I mean, I can go like...
That was the fastest setting?
I think that's the fastest, like the booster bit, which just gives you like an extra boost.
Right,
And then the slower setting is just like a little trawler speed, so you've got 2 buttons on the watch. So now this is trawler.
It just keeps you going.
And this will just keep you going.
Oh God, I could drink so much beer.
Imagine that.
And so that's what we did. Imagined just that. Because this thing would let me literally propel myself down a river whilst relaxing and dreaming of those beers. To tell you the truth, if I'd had some beers, I'm not even sure I'd have made it to the pub. I could just sit and enjoy the river, the serene nature. It was utterly picturesque. But this serene journey afforded to me by the Boost fin was about to get much less serene indeed.
Tell ya,
Yeah?
what's that in front of us?
That, I'm going to say, is just less than a grade 1 White Rapid.
What do I do?
Remember, find a V and go down the middle of it.
What's a V?
Like the V, the letter.
What?
So look-
Where? In the sky? In the ground? In the water?
In the water.
The white bit.
No.
As the rapids got closer and closer, I started to realise that I might have more to worry about than drowning.
So that's taking another big hit. Oh, the hell, fire! That was a very big hit.
I'd run aground. The fin had taken a big hit from a huge rock underneath.
No.
And I thought that that might have been it, but things were about to get much, much worse.
Oh, bloody hell, fire!
I just kept hitting the bottom of the river over and over again. Evidently the water just wasn't deep enough for the fin.
Right, I thought if I go to the front, it works better.
So
I don't know where the big rocks are.
we're
There?
going to go down a bit. It says to keep to the middle.
No, can't hear you. Oh yes, oh shit. Oh shit. I crashed. It's getting knocked about. What is that in front of me?
It's going to get deep in a minute.
Oh Jesus, oh Jesus. go. Oh, I'm going to be grounded.
After a while, it got so shallow and the fin was just too deep to be able to carry on any further riding on top of the paddleboard, which meant that my paddleboard went STU'S Reviews boarding instead, and I had to walk it for a little while. But eventually, of course, I did manage to get back on.
I can hear it knocking. I mean, this one's going to be a real test of how durable it is.
Yep. I mean, it's taken some good hits and it's still working.
It has, and it is. It's still working. I will be very interested to see what it looks like at the end of this.
Yep.
After all of that commotion, I felt like I needed another relaxing part of this journey, but I felt a bit mean propelling ahead and leaving Taya behind like last time, so I had the bright idea of seeing what the fin was truly capable of.
Right, we're going to try and pull two of us with this one motor now and see how well it does. That's one fat man.
And
slim Taya.
thank you.
Right, we're going to go on normal trawling speed.
I mean, you're paddling as well.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm going to stop paddling now. Is it pulling both of us? It's pulling both of us, look at this!
Where's the beer?
This is fun. You can't say this is not fun. This is great. I'm really genuinely impressed that it's pulling both of us.
Yeah.
I think that's so good.
Unfortunately, like all good things, our enjoyable hands-free paddleboarding experience was due to come to an end just shy of our destination.
Well, that's it. We've run out of steam. The battery has finally run out, and we are... How far are we, Taya? Hour and 20 in, which is not bad. An hour and 20. Obviously it's not been running constantly, but I reckon it ran for a good 40 minutes at least of that, and it's pulled me and Taya. But now I've obviously got the rest of this journey to do by hand, which I'm really not looking forward to, so let's get started. Oh god. Yeah.
So that's it, we are now at the pub with a fine pint of Madry, which I'm looking forward to. This thing was so much fun. Yes, it didn't quite last the entire journey. I'd say about 2/3 of it though. And it did pull me and Taya, so there is that to consider as well. But I didn't fall off, and I know that's nothing to do with the actual fin, but I'm still impressed with that fact. But I really thoroughly enjoyed the journey with the Boost surfing fin. Yes, okay, it might not be the ideal situation to use it in. There are other situations that are more suited to this fin, and I'll go into those in a minute. But overall, this journey has been absolutely fantastic, and I am looking forward to the next time I can get out using that surfing fin, especially on these rivers. But for now, I'm going to sit here and enjoy my pint. Cheers. So I didn't drown, and considering that I've never been paddleboarding before, the fact that I didn't fall off is nothing short of a miracle. But I'm not here to review my performance, of course. I'll leave that for you to do in the comments below. But for now, I'm here to share my final thoughts on the Boost surfing fin, starting with the durability. Now, throughout the entire journey, you saw on numerous occasions I got quite stuck. The river wasn't deep enough in some places, which resulted in some rather nasty knocks, to the point that some were so severe with large sections where my fat arse was just making it grind along the bottom. I expected to see some significant damage. Well, here it is. And it's still in one piece. It's still working to live another day. And I was shocked to see that it managed to survive without much damage. It has had some of the gloss paintwork scraped off it, and there are a few heavy scratches here and there, but all things considered, I think it's done a fantastic job, and it gives me confidence in its longevity. I mean, for most people, you wouldn't even be using it in anywhere near as rough a conditions as I did, but I really wanted to put this through its paces, completely intentionally, of course, and not the fact that I didn't know the route at all. Now, throughout that journey, there were parameters that the boost fin was set to using the companion app, which offers a hell of a lot more control than just what's on your wrist. And here you can completely customize the way this supports you and what the two buttons essentially do on the controller. For example, you can set the short boost's power and set how long it gives you a boost for, but it's the smart mode that I really like. This is what gives you that stepped increase that I was discussing during the journey, which I think is very clever because it's not an immediate jerk of the board underneath your feet. Now, this might not be that important for surfing, where you're likely lying on the board when using this with two hands gripping onto it. But if you're a paddleboarder and are standing on your board, this is a lifesaver and means you're much less likely to fall off when using the boost function. You can even change the percentage of the motor at different steps too. So if you're finding the default smart mode a little bit too powerful, you can actually turn down the power within each step. And with the long boost option, there's a little bit less to choose from here. It just gives you a dedicated mode depending on what you're doing. But in my case, I had it on the sup trolling mode, which gently sends you forward, ideal for the journey that I was on. The only thing I would say is that you do need to change the settings prior to your journey, because about halfway through along my journey, I thought I'd have a little play around with the settings to increase the speed to the max. But of course, it was in the water, and it connects to your phone via Bluetooth, which of course doesn't actually work through water. So make sure you get your settings right before getting started. Now, there are a few other things to consider along with this, keeping in mind that I'm not a surfing or paddleboard expert by any stretch at all. And the first is the compatibility. Now, I was very, very lucky to have a friend who's very much into paddleboarding, and she brought two boards with two different fin fittings, neither of which worked with the standard adapter that came with the Boost surfing fin. Fortunately, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, the third paddleboard was just right, but that involved me frantically driving to the nearest local paddleboard shop to rent a board that had the correct fin attachment. Now, Boost Surfing do sell a bunch of different adapters on their website that can make the fin work with almost every type of paddleboard or surfboard, and possibly even kayaks if they have the right sort of adapter. It'll just be a case of double checking your board and checking that you are getting the right adapter for the board that you have. And the last consideration is the price. This is £474 without discount. Although, like most things, it was on discount when I checked, so it would be worth checking out the link below to see its current price. But that's not cheap, and it's certainly a lot more than a regular fin, which are about £50 on average. But the thing is, this device is anything but average. It's one of the most simple gadgets that I've tried that immediately puts a smile on my face. And actually, when you tally it up, it's not too dissimilar to the price of an electric scooter. And that's what I would compare this experience most to, because I get a similar sense of joy, of freedom, and of fun by using this device. Yes, it's quite a niche product, but believe me when I say that I've loved this gadget so much that it's actually encouraged me to look into start paddleboarding myself. And late at night when I close my eyes, I keep thinking about using the Boost fin to gently propel myself down the river for an hour or two and get a pint on the pub on a nice summer's evening. And I just love how this makes that possible without having to paddle. And of course, it's not just for me with literally no experience whatsoever, but it's also for those with more experience getting the most out of their surfing and paddleboarding, and potentially even those who lacks some physical ability. It makes this sort of activity particularly accessible because of the assistance that it provides. Yes, I'm aware that I potentially haven't gotten the most out of it, being quite the beginner, but I don't care. It's been such a fun gadget to review, and for that reason it gets a massive thumbs up from me. I also think it's super easy to forget or overlook just how much tech and engineering has gone into this product. I mean, they've managed to fit a battery large enough to give me nearly an hour's continuous support, a remote functionality, a giant propeller that's capable of pulling 2 boards with people on them without batting an eye, all in a slimline design that isn't much bigger than a regular fin. So I've got to say, this is one of the coolest gadgets of 2024, and perhaps one of the coolest gadgets I've ever reviewed. Full stop. What do you think? Are you a surfer or paddleboarder? Does this thing sound like something you see yourself using? And if you're not either of those things, does it make taking up these sports a little more tempting? Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Boost Fin and your thoughts on today's episode, and I'll see you guys back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.